Our first team tonight, SolarBlocks, face the challenge around circular economy for future energy. Please welcome Tina Cooley, Furness, Kieran O'Donnell, Sabrina Moir, and Kassem Rkein and Tanya Salvarinov. Tanya, please tell us about SolarBlocks.
Thanks, Nick, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you our solution, SolarBlocks Simplifying Infrastructure. Our team is diverse in discipline and location, and it has been such a joy to work together over the past few months. We celebrated promotions, endured continuous lockdowns, and met over Teams each other's fur babies. What we have produced in our challenge solution and pitch video is nothing short of hard work and team collaboration. Our challenge was to consider how might we create a circular economy for future energy infrastructure with componentry that is designed to be repurposed. SolarBlocks Simplifying Infrastructure is seeking strategic partnerships with manufacturers to advance the design of our product. SolarBlocks rethinks the design of generic solar PVs to allow components to be taken apart as easily as they can be put together. Through this modular design, we will see an increased end-of-life cycle and improved recyclability at the end of the life itself. I hope you enjoy.
Australia is leading the way with the highest uptake of solar PV installation in the world. But what happens to all these solar panels at the end of their lives? Australia can expect 100,000 tonnes of solar waste by 2035 and 800,000 tonnes by 2050. Although the components of solar panels are inherently recyclable, they are not made to be unmade. The use of glue makes recycling difficult, energy intensive, and expensive. In Australia, only 17% of solar panel materials are reclaimed and the rest are sent to landfill. There is a better way. The SolarBlocks panel is inspired by LEGO with an interlocking modular design. The components are assembled within a sealed container to prevent damage and corrosion without affecting performance or efficiency. And just like LEGO, the components can be easily pulled apart at the end of the panel's life. The high-value components can be reused in new solar panels, and other componentry can be recycled or repurposed into any number of new products. The SolarBlocks design will increase reuse of componentry, improve recyclability, decrease dependence on raw materials, reduce solar waste to landfill, and incentivise a recycling industry. We are looking to connect with the solar manufacturing industry to support research and development for the SolarBlocks design. This opportunity to accelerate the future circular economy in solar infrastructure is not to be wasted.
Wow, thank you so much, Team SolarBlocks. Simone, very keen to hear your thoughts on this.
Well done to that team. I really love that it was inspired by Lego. And I'm curious for you to tell me a little bit more. I think there's so many great ideas in that. But please tell me a little bit more about what the next steps might be.
Yeah, thanks for your question, Simone. I think that's a really great question. I'm really glad you asked it because it's something that we've been doing a lot of work around. I might defer to Kassem, who's been doing a lot of thinking around that roadmap and next steps towards commercializing SolarBlocks' product. Kassem?
Thanks for your question. Thanks everyone for being here as well, for giving us the opportunity to present to you such a wonderful solution. Our solution is actually on a short-term view. We would like to envisage on our journey, starting by partnering with the Australian PV industry through investing in R&D and feasibility studies of the solution. On a midterm view, we would like to leverage on this relationship with the Australian PV industry to have a direct connection with manufacturers, whether they're local or overseas, to start building samples of the SolarBlocks panels and trialing them on residential scales based on a pilot program. The outcome of this pilot program will determine how quickly we are to scale up commercially. On a long-term view, we would like to see the solution a contributor in creating a flexible infrastructure for the future energy industry that could also be expanded to other industries equally in order to realize value creation and to provide opportunities for materials to be recovered and reutilized easily in some way, shape, or form. We see the importance of considering this from the onset rather than in the hindsight at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And another
I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yes, that really answered it very well. And I also wonder, are there any limitations to where and how you think solar blocks can be used? And to be a little more specific in my question, is there a difference between these solar blocks being used in cities and regional or isolated areas?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and I think we've been thinking a lot about the right market to deploy this for those early movers, and then what that looks like more over the medium and long term. So I guess what we've sort of identified is really in residential markets, a lot less price sensitive, and consumers are more conscious and willing to make those decisions on choosing sustainable products that provide other value added benefits rather than in the commercial sector where it is perhaps a little bit more price sensitive. But I think we do see, with this simple and modularized design that over the longer term, there is more of an opportunity to be cost competitive with incumbent technologies. So I think maybe to your question as to where we see those markets, we've probably thought about it more in terms of residential versus commercial, being in that short term versus longer term opportunity.
Excellent. They're really great answers. And, I hope that you do take the next steps with this. I think the idea is fantastic. And I really love the circularity that you can see in this. If I may just ask one final question, and it's a little bit to do with your learning process. Can you talk to me a little bit about how important diversity was in your team for coming up with this innovative idea?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and I might have first crack at this and then defer to the team to add some more comments. I think certainly it's a bit of an unfamiliar process when you're thrown into a team right at the start of things and you haven't met your team members. We're all from different parts of Australia and from different backgrounds and different organisations and subsectors within the future energy space. So I think that diversity has been really important for a couple of reasons. One of them is diversity in thinking, and that's really led to quite constructive discussion over the last 9 weeks and really helped to identify the broad depth of potential options that we could pursue, but then really land on a strong idea that we believe has the most impact and the most potential to drive forward. So I think that diversity has really been good for our thinking. But yeah, might defer to the group if there's any other comments.
I think you covered well.
Okay, well, thank you all very much. Judges, are there any other questions from you?
Solar panels are getting so cheap. How do you deal with the handling? When you're disassembling it, I'm just wondering whether you need something like a deposit tax on soft drink bottles equivalent for the solar panels. We've got no time, so you just have to give me a short answer.
Sorry, just coming off mute as well. Yeah, I think the economics of it are quite challenging, and I might defer to Tanya in a second to build on this. Actually, Tanya, given that we're short on time, did you want to jump in on the economics?
Yeah, look, we totally recognise that panel is the major risk is our cost and the price of it. And when you're using greener materials and want to have a longer life cycle, that does come at a premium. But we believe that will pay dividends longer term down the track when they don't have to replace their panels as often or can replace the parts of the panel that are breaking down. And that's the whole point of the modular design. So in the short term, it is a risk and it is a premium to pay, but we believe that will be an ultimate benefit in the longer term for our customers.
I'd like to add to that as well that we've got a trade-off between the higher cost of waste management for the solar PV and the design coming at a premium. So literally having that design coming early to the market will reduce that cost dramatically down the track if we adopt it early and we have that in place.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for your great answers and your amazing creativity. That's it for Q&A. And thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much, Team SolarBlocks and the judges. Truly a fascinating concept.
The People's Choice, how exciting. I think anything that is likened to Lego is bound to be successful. So congratulations, SolarBlocks, for being the People's Choice. And I think the concept that probably resonated with a lot of people, and certainly with me, was made to be unmade. So that concept of actually thinking about future life when you're designing is sings to most engineers, I imagine. Congratulations.
I'll jump in and just say thanks so much on behalf of SolarBlocks. We are so thrilled, and as a team have worked really, really hard to be here. So we just want to thank our organisations for supporting us along the journey, and our mentor, Natalie Ambrasso, and our challenge champion, Henry Anning. So without them as well, we wouldn't have arrived to this moment. So yeah, thanks so much, guys.
That was amazing. Big congratulations to SolarBlocks for the People's Choice winner.